Let's move into our final question for the evening is perturbed in Plymouth Township.
A lot of angry people tonight, Blair.
Yes. Everybody is panicking or they're ticked off. Perturbed in Plymouth Township writes in, we were given several classic cars, 3, they said, by our longtime and elderly neighbor. We'll call him Frank. I like that. As a gift.
Mm.
Frank no longer wanted them because he could not drive them or take care of them. Frank gave them to us about 6 months ago. The cars have a total value of about $75,000. Frank was supposed to provide us the title to the cars, but he never got around to it before he died. After he passed, his son came to collect the cars, stating that they were left to him in his father's will. He has the title to the cars and won't sign the title over. He says he is filing a lawsuit against us for the cars. What are our rights? Just an aside, this son, now they're getting petty. This son has never helped his father out. We have always looked after Frank. We were like his real family. Perturbed in Plymouth Township.
Again, deals with
Perturbed
property.
and petty in Plymouth Township. All right.
Right. It gets again to that question: how to, this is a contract. This is deals with property. Wow, that is a toughie. That is going to, unless these parties, work something out, it's going to be a very tough one. The way a matter like this would be resolved is it would go to probate court, and a probate judge would want to hear all the information surrounding this gift. Okay. Now, I don't know how, they're neighbors and, they're going to have to show a court, look, these are the things that we did, or we weren't expecting it, Now, it would have been better if there was a contract between these parties where Frank said, look, if you take good care of me or you help me out, I'm going to give you these cars. That would make things wonderful. We could also get into the mental capacity of this gentleman before he passed, before he gave the cars.
Right.
Or, if he was didn't know what we call the extent of his boundaries, if he didn't know what was really going on, and he gave them, then that's not really a gift, because it looks like the intent was to give the cars to his son. However, people do forget what they had in a will. We don't know when the will was drawn, right? Or drafted. The will could be 20 years old. We have no idea. So in stuff like this fact pattern doesn't have, it's got a lot of stuff, but it doesn't have enough. We got to dig deeper, right? And boy, I feel bad for all parties. And probably by the time you're done, those must be, I don't know much about collectible cars or classic cars, just that I like watching them at the Dream Cruise. I really like that. But I don't know what $75,000 in classic cars looks like. So if there's 3, they must be each worth 25 grand approximately, right? It's better to everybody come together, because here's the thing: the people who've written in with the problem, they have the property, but they don't have the registration.
Right.
So what's proof of ownership? Is the registration, not really the possession. Although the law is not, possession is 9/10 of the law.
Right. Or do they possess 3 stolen classic cars?
Right. See, it's interesting that you're thinking it that way. When I hear this, because let's pretend they're not clients, but let's pretend they were going to be clients. I hear these people were very good to Frank, and Frank gave them a car or 2, right? And you're like, wow, they took the car. See, that's the truth will come out. But based on the fact pattern there, we really don't know what the truth is. I assure you, with how you get to this whole, you can cut through this whole mess. What if we could find that Frank sent them a text? Because texting lately, over the past 5 years or so, God love text. Text helped me in so many cases. What if Frank was good enough on his texting? Just because you're old doesn't mean you don't know how to use a computer or a phone, just so you know. And he says, hey, I'm still looking for the registration. I got to find it so I can give it to you.
Yep.
The case is over. Right? It doesn't matter that he left it in the will. He didn't die. If he gives it to somebody before he dies, that's no longer an asset of the estate. So it's not guaranteed to the son. So little things like that, little nuggets of information are so important that can change a whole case. Okay. I do I have this newsletter, the newest newsletter. I do these newsletters, as you know. I just happen to have it right here because I'm in my office. And I have one article that's just so good about all it takes is one comma, one period, one, hyphen to change the outcome of a whole case.
Wow.
And so in this situation, what if you could find that text or written letter or a note? Like if they got a note, and we're all speculating, but let's say he didn't text, but he wrote a note that said, "Dear neighbors, I think the registration's over here, but I'll go and get it in a couple weeks." That's the intent. You're looking for the intent of the decedent. That's all you're doing.
No,
good question. You see, that one's a great question.
That is a great question. I'm certainly not accusing anybody of car theft. I'm just sort of thinking in the terms of the child, you know, the heir coming in and saying, like, I don't care if my aging, almost senile father told you over the fence or over barbecue you could have these 3 cars. And where are the cars? Are the cars in the neighbor's garage or yard now, or are they still in Frank's yard and garage? You know, like, where even are the cars located? So anyway.
There's a, Blair, in probate law, I forgot what they call it, but I think the wayward heir, or it's like the missing heir. There's sometimes people they're heirs to an estate, they're beneficiaries, they haven't been around forever, and then all of a sudden they just come in and they scoop up what was left to them, but they've never been involved with the decedent. And I forgot what they call it, but it's like something like the wayward heir. They just they weren't involved, they don't want to be involved, but they were left this money, and they just come in and they scoop it up. And people who have been dealing with the decedent for a long time, they're shocked, you know. And so there's a lot of animosity, and people start fighting over assets. So again, real estate being one of the biggest assets, we get involved in those cases quite a bit. People will call us on probate and real estate issues.
Yes.
Great question.
No, it was. No, and I've witnessed that in my own family, with family members, and there's several siblings, and some are very involved with the parents and others aren't, or maybe they're estranged, yet the assets are distributed equally, and there always seems to be resentment from the children who, and these are elder children, these are great aunts and uncles that I've observed this happen to, but there always just seemed to be that resentment of, I was with mom or dad, I was at the bedside, I was taking care of them, where were you? You were living your life for free, and so there's always resentment attached to that, it seems like.
Yeah. Yep. And yet, because there's controversy, guess what? There are attorneys like me to, hopefully sort it out. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
All right.
Good
that was a
tonight.
good one to end on. Well, perturbed in Plymouth, I think you said. I hope you are able to settle that. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time tonight, David. I really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who tuned in and watched these. I know you're catching the tail end of our last video because these are spliced, but David, once again, just share with us, how can the folks reach out to you for their legal needs?
The best way is just to call us at 888-789-1715. You can also just type my name in to the Gmail, to the Chrome, David Soble, S-O-B-L-E, lawyer, and it will pop up. Usually, Google's pretty good about that. And, or you can go to provenresource.com, or you can text the word proven to 36260, and that will get you, actually, that's pretty cool. I've had, the firm's had that for like 3 or 4 years now, I think 4.
I use that app. Yep.
Do you really? It's a great app, and we have thousands of people who downloaded the app, and it's pretty cool. It's a legal app, It gives you tons of information. We're loading it up with more documents, free documents, by the end of this month. I know it's the end of the video, or the end of our session. I will tell you, whoever's watching, if you indulge me one more second, Blair, we have a DIY program that's being released.
I actually was gonna tell you to bring that up. That's a cool feature.
Okay. Yeah, we kind of, I will tell you, there's a software snafu. So, best laid plans. We were supposed to be released on January 15th. We were very excited. And it will allow clients of the firm, friends of the firm, friends we have not met yet, to go online to basically create their own real estate and corporate forms, legal forms, with the guidance of an attorney. It's the forms have already been blessed and approved by my office, and you can do this on your own. And if you need legal help thereafter, after you fill them in, you can always give us a shout. And that's located at provenresource.com. It's not up yet. Like that one part is not up yet. It will be by the end of the month, I'm assured. It's pretty cool. I mean, Ashley, I wish I had these documents when I was a real estate investor or when I was forming my first company. So it is pretty cool. And the only other thing I have to share with you is that at the end of the month, we do have a business council type program, a subscription-based program that allows real estate investors and entrepreneurs or anybody else who is interested in business or real estate to have us on retainer for a small subscription fee every month, where you have unlimited phone calls, for legal questions, you have access to our certain forms, and guidance through the maze of real estate. It's pretty cool. So it's like you have your own attorney on call at all times. You don't have to sit and search for a new attorney to do this or that. If it's real estate and it's business related, you can pick up, and contract related, you can pick up the phone. Within reason, you'll have somebody call you back before the end of the day and speak with you about whatever your concern is, and we can give you legal advice.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, is that something that's common? Is that your original civil law brainchild? Like, that's,
no. Maybe insurance companies have.
Fantastic.
There are some insurance companies, but we deal with so many real estate investors. I mean, all over Michigan, all over Ohio. I have the phone does not stop. I have people who answer the phones. We sort through a lot of information, and we're highly scheduled. So what we decided, it was the third quarter of last year, where we're like, we've got to give the people who we deal with on a regular basis access to those questions, so that they're not sitting there having to type an email and trying to get in touch with us. And so we have a certain priority slot time that we've created, and this is all being unveiled at the end of January. And you'll be able to have, for a subscription fee every month, you have unlimited access to a real estate and finance attorney, either myself or one of my colleagues, to answer corporate questions, finance questions related to real estate, and real estate questions. And it's needed because if you don't have it, and sometimes people get frustrated and they go, oh, that attorney didn't call me back, or I got to do this right away. We'd rather have people call us to make sure that things are on the up and up at their level, so that they don't fall into a legal trap or a legal problem. Then it costs them more to get them out. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty cool. So it's unlimited calls, some documentation that we'll provide. We give discounted rates to those people. So it'll be a 25% off on your hourly rate, or 25% off on certain fixed fee programs that we provide. It's pretty cool. I did not create it, to be honest. You asked. I didn't create it. I actually have a very good friend of mine out of Texas who does something very similar for internet entrepreneurs. And I thought it was that was a great idea. So
that is a great idea. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
That's it.
A subscription service. Everybody's doing subscription services these days. You're very with it. I like it.
Oh, I like that.
I'm always impressed.
Thank you.
Very
I appreciate
impressed.
that.
Yep.
I try really hard. But no, I didn't create it.
No.
I'm with it. I'm only what? You make me sound like I'm in my 80s.
No, I just in terms of
the sweater vest, right?
marketing. Yes, the sweater vest.
The sweater vest did it, 80s.
Exactly. No, just in terms of marketing and the resources and features and et cetera that you provide. There's just so many. You've got so many different platforms. It's impressive.
Well, I appreciate that. We we have fun with it. We actually love what we do at the office. So I'm glad that we can provide those platforms for people. So
me too.
Right.
I'm glad that I can utilize them.
Yeah. Well, thank
right.
you, Claire, as usual. And tell, how did you, just real briefly, so for people who are watching, you're really involved, and that's how I met you. You were really involved in a real estate investors platform.
Yep.
Right?
So if you want to hang out with David or I on Facebook, we're both involved, very involved, or we engage often in a real estate investing community on Facebook. It's just a simple Facebook group. It's called Michigan Real Estate Investor Network. You can also go to the website, michiganreinetwork.com. And so David and I are some of the content creators for this network, podcasts and posts, etc. And so you can find myself on there. You can find David on there, and we're pretty active.
I'm over, I'm old, so with the sweater vest, I go to bed at 9. Right. So I'm not on there.
Right, so you can catch David around 6 p.m.
Right.
I have little children, so you won't catch me after 8:30.
Right. No, it's a very active group. That's why I like it so much. And
yep.
Great.
Yeah.
Great
so
stuff.
if you are watching and you're a real estate investor and you have any interest in investing in the state of Michigan, or you're currently investing in the state of Michigan, then check out that Facebook group, Michigan Real Estate Investor Network. All right.
All right, Blair. Thank you.
Very good.
As always, it's really informative.
All right. Thank you, sir. And thank you to everyone who is watching.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Night.